Alright, hello, my name is RebelDragon, and this is Yakuza 3. This is the version that they released on modern platforms. It was originally on PS4 and Xbox, Xbox One, and eventually got released on everything else later on. Alright, so I'm going to start the run when I click on easy. We'll go in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So that's just a pop-up that tells you I have save file on other stuff. Alright, so the start of Yakuza 3 actually takes place directly after the ending of Yakuza 2, basically, and it just immediately writes a character out of the series for quite a while. Actually, she didn't return until Yakuza 8, which came out only a month ago. Right. Sorry, this is just a bunch of cutscenes I got to skip. Alright, so now we're going into Chapter 1. Right, so Chapter 1, we start at a graveyard. We're just going to talk to one of the graves and then move on. Right, so when we're skipping through text in this game, you don't actually have to mash it for most of it. If it's non-vocalized text, you just hold R1 and X. Anything vocalized, it tells you there's a little different box icon for it. Those ones you have to mash the dialogue skip button through. But there's only 3 or 4 of those throughout the run. Right, so now that we've spoken to Sayama, she's written out the series until Yakuza 8. Now we're going to go say goodbye to our friends, because at this point, Kiryu and Haruka want to leave Kamurocho and go live on the beach. So we're going to say goodbye to a few people. First off, we've got to go say hi to our nightclub buddies. Bye, Yuya. Yep. Thank you, Haruka. Right, so when I'm walking around, I'll have the camera pan down because when they made the remastered versions of these games, they basically boosted the loading times, and as a result of that, more NPCs load on the map than they did before, and they can get in your way, stop you from moving, and yeah, it's pretty annoying, but if you pan down the camera, they all despawn, so you can just run around everywhere. This does mean you basically run around at every map with the camera looking down, so you do kind of have to know where everything is. Alright, this is the tutorial. The tutorial in this game is kind of annoying, so we actually have to do the tutorial in this game, as intended. So I'm just going to quickly do that. There we go, that was kind of poop. Right, so now I've got to do, apparently lock onto the wrong guy, but that's right. Now I have to do heavy attacks. So there's multiple types of attack in this game. There's the light, the heavy, which is the triangle button, and then throws, which you do with circle. So we're going to throw 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we should just finish this guy off like that. There we go. Right. Another thing we have is we have items. We're going to grab this bin. Oh, let me grab this other bin. Right. So now it's tutorializing us on building up the heat bar. Camera, can you play with me, please? Thank you. So what I'm trying to do is trying to hit the enemies into a corner so then they don't move too much. Because in a second, I need to do heat moves, which is when you press triangle and you do a context-based finishing move, essentially. And you need to do 3 of these, and this is the fastest one you can do. It's slamming their face into the wall. So you do that 3 times. They all get back up again, and then they've all got 1 hit point. That's the end of the tutorial. Right. And then it asks you want to do it again. You have to make sure you press no, or you got to do all that again. Luckily, it starts you on no. A lot of games would start you on yes, which is absolutely brutal sometimes. Right, so yeah, these guys regret getting beaten up and leave us alone for a little bit. Right, the only reason why we came over here is because our other host buddy is over here, because in Yakuza 2, he gets injured and then he ends up in this guy's medical center thing in Moto. Hey. Right, so once he said goodbye to him, we need to go to the Millennium Tower. So we can actually walk around Kamurocho a bit more as Haruka, but we're just going to tell her to stay put. We need to move on, and that teleports you to outside. It saves I think it's half a second over just leaving normally. There you go. Right, so we've got to head over to the Millennium Tower. There's actually another tutorial upcoming. There's actually 2 trigger points for the tutorial. You can go down there, that street, or you come down here. It's a little bit faster to come down here because obviously you're heading towards the Millennium Tower anyway. So that's the kind of the intended area you want to go. Oh yeah, this is the imposing punk as opposed to the cocky punk. He's got 2 HP bars rather than 1, so he's definitely like a higher tier. Right, so the second tutorial is more based around like your more kind of defensive abilities for a lot of it. So yeah, we got a guard and okay, he whiffed his first attack. But yeah, so this is like usually in most Yakuza games that have to do the tutorial. The guard tutorial is genuinely the worst one. There you go, cool. Because you basically just have to wait for them to attack you. And when you're doing speedruns, you play generally on the easiest difficulty. Or he decides to do that then. And generally enemies aren't as aggressive a lot of the time. Alright, so now I'm just doing fighting stance, which is when you lock on. Go do quick step. It's a little bit faster to just spam quick step into this corner. There we go. Right, so now it wants you to do more triangle attacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to combo this guy. Or we were going to try to combo that guy into the corner, but that didn't really work. Because we want, he has 2 HP bars, so we want him gone the most out of all of them. Spread damage a little bit. There we go. That should be that guy. There we go. Right, so now we grab the sign. And actually get beaten up, because of course, we're going to go grab a bike instead. They're going to be a little bit easier. Then we go smack all those guys around, heat move this guy. And there should be just a little bit of cleanup left to do. There we go. That wasn't too bad. A little bit annoying I got hit at the end, but it's not the worst thing that can happen there. Right, so now we've done that. This other guy appears and goes, you guys do realize this is Mr. Kazuma Kiryu, and they get very scared and run away again. Because they've just tried to beat up the main character of the series. Right, so once we're done with that, we need to actually go to the Millennium Tower now. On the way in, we get stopped by Nishido here, and he gives us like 2 items. Sorry, Nishida. And then he gives us like 2 items that we're just going to sell in a minute because we don't really need them. Right. So the whole reason why we're coming in here is because Kiryu wants to leave Kamurocho. He basically wants to ask Majima, yo, Majima, can you look after Daigo for me? Because he's a bit of an idiot. And he really needs someone to, like, help him every now and then. But before, you know, Majima agrees to even considering helping Kiryu, we do have to have a boss fight. And this is, like, pretty much a, like, nearly, like, a pretty upgraded Majima, just without his knife. Which you have to face as, like, pretty much the first boss of the game. Which is pretty wild. Right, so, I'm going to throw. He should break away, he'll laugh. Get the knockdown. 1, 2, he should break away and laugh again. There we go, right. So now I'm going to try. He didn't do the thing I needed him to, but that's fine. Cool, that's fine. I'm just going to take forever to get up. I'm just going to throw him. So the whole thing I'm trying to do is trying to stun him on the way up when he does particular things. 1, 2. To laugh again. Here we go. Right. There you go. Now I'm gonna knock him down again. Now I want to throw him because when he gets to this range of HP, he'll try and do something called a feel the heat, which you do not want him to do. Which you really don't want him to do because that wastes so much time. There we go. There we go. So the combo I'm doing is like the 3rd hit of your combo, like stuns people. There we go, and that should kill him. There we go, that was Majima. That was a little bit slow because he just didn't do what he needed to do, and he was like retaliating with weird attacks. But that's fine. That's the end of chapter 1 once we've dealt with that guy. Right, so chapter 2 is when this is like a little bit later, a few years afterwards, where we are living on the beach. We've got a nice little orphanage. If you've played Yakuza 3 before, this is where the loving term Daddy Kiryu kind of comes from. because we're going to spend a lot of this game in this orphanage helping out the children, doing different things. Before we do that, sorry, I'm losing myself here. We need to go out here. Right, so we need to talk to Izumi down here. And she's upset that some kid at school said that she didn't have a family because she's an orphan. And Kiryu's like, hang on a second, of course I didn't mean to click the option. And he's like, of course you have a family, we are your family. And then they go have dinner. So lovely happy ending. Alright, a couple of cutscenes. Right, so there's one more cutscene probably, because it's taking a while to load. There it is. I always forget some of them, because normally when there's a black screen, I'm just mashing start the whole time until I see the see the screen. Right, so Kiryu then finds out that apparently a part of the deed for the land that his orphanage is on is like in danger of being like sold or given to someone else, and potential of all these houses and stuff is like being knocked down, or like they're forced to move or whatever. So he's like, no, like that's not happening. So we got to go to the who we think is the owner of one of the halves of the deed to the land, because one half is with Daigo, the other half is with the Ryudo family. But before we do that, we got to make a quick pit stop in Ebisu Pawn, because we need to buy some lovely weapons for some of this run. So we're going to quickly sell the not that. The Ukiyo Bell is like a DLC item, which like we just try to avoid using because it is technically banned to use. Even to sell it, it's not allowed. There we go. Right, now we've bought some baseball bats. Right, so the baseball bats are pretty useful. Baseball bats that you buy and are in your inventory have like a special attack on the circle button. If it's one that you've picked up from the ground, or any weapon you picked up from the ground, circle throws them. By the way, that guy in grey is a fight spawn. I'll speak about them in a minute when they become a bit more prevalent. But yeah, this is Rikia. This is one of the members of the Ryudo family. But we're just going to take him over to this corner and beat him up in it. So these two signs, if you do this right, cause additional damage to Rikia when you kick him into them, because they move around and... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. They move around and hopefully they'll explode and do not lose the damage to him. Like that. I'm trying to get full use out of them. Okay. Right, so what I'm doing as well is the AI in this game is kind of weird. Sometimes if you do whiff too light attacks while they're getting up, they don't always tend to like block you, or they can't block you sometimes. So what you can do is you can just abuse that to abuse their AI into thinking that you're not going to do anything, and then just hit them with the gut punch and infinite most bosses in corners if you're able to set them up there. It's more of a thing that works on easy over the other difficulties this game has. Usually on all the other difficulties they have like different ways of doing it. On like legend mode, a lot of this game is based around using Tiger Drop on things, because Tiger Drop's actually pretty good in this game. It does a lot of damage. Alright, so now Rikia wants to show us around this area of Okinawa a little bit. So we're just going to walk around the little mall here. While I'm doing that, if you've got anything you need to say on the hosting side, feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely. We've got a $40 donation from Shep saying, having a great time watching the streams where I can. Best of luck on the run, Rebel. And claiming an ESA winter shirt on that as well. So enjoy your shirt, Shep, and thank you for your donation.
Alright, so now that we walked through here, we just have to wait for him to come here. This is another dude that's pretty important, but we're just going to walk into him a couple times. Yeah, but that's Makiko. He's kind of around for a lot of the game now. But yeah, this is Nakahara. Nakahara is the guy that owns like the other half of the land that Kiryu's orphanage is on. So we just went over to there and said, please do not sell. And he went, yeah, sure, because I respect you. Anyway, that's the end of chapter 2. Chapter 3. So chapter 3 is when we get more into like some orphanage stuff. We've got to deal with just a little bit of story stuff for these guys. Oh yeah, if you walk backwards here, you save like 0.4 seconds over going around the other way to activate that cutscene. Because you can either walk forward or walk backwards. But yeah, so now we need to find Shiro. Shiro's in the back here. Right, so Shiro is very upset about something. We just need to ask him what he's upset about. And he's upset because someone's bullying him at school. So we're going to go to our own little information broker in the orphanage, and that's Taichi. Taichi is the very best member of the orphanage. He's down here on the beach. Is the guy in red. Basically, if Kiryu doesn't know something, he goes to Taichi and goes, Taichi, do you know? And Taichi goes, I know. I know everything that's going on. So Taichi tells Kiryu about what's happening, and then Kiryu's like, I must I'm going to do something about this. So he tries to phone the school about it, and yeah, basically gets nowhere. So we got to find another angle on that one. So he just wants to... So we got to go back to Shiro now, because he basically wants to confirm with him that that's actually the problem. The really slow walk that Kiryu has when he's in the orphanage is pretty funny. The walking animations in this game in general are like pretty funny. It's very like PS3 era kind of movement. Alright, there we go. One more trip back to Shiro, and that'll end this section. Alright. And we find out that that basically there's like a superintendent person who likes going golfing. So we're gonna go to the golfing the golf course and see if we can have a conversation with this guy. So this guy in green tells us about the golf course, and we're gonna go and have a look. All right. So we've got the golf, right. Now, in most Yakuza games, you don't have to do any of the mini games. Yakuza 3 is not one of those games. In Yakuza 3, we have to play golf, and golf is rather annoying. Because there's a lot of RNG in golf, and there's a lot of like really specific things about it. Because it's kind of jank. As would like a PS3 kind of game would be with this kind of thing. So this is just the tutorial. This is this man just cooking and telling us about everything that we can do while golfing, but we're just going to ignore most of it and just hit the ball and hope for the best. Tells you can move the line, you can change your swing arc, you can do whatever. What I'm going to do is, the wind's okay, I'm just going to go over here and just eat it. That should be okay. That's more than fine, even though I'm in the bunker. That's more than fine, even though I'm in the rough. If you can do this in like a couple of like swings, you're more than fine. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind. I just want to be on the green. No, I don't want to mulligan. I hit that really hard. Yep, cool. That's fine. It's kind of better if it doesn't try and like get in the hole straight away, because the hole's actually really annoying in this game. It doesn't, like, even if you hit the ball and it directly goes into the hole, the game's like, nah, that's not correct at all. Like that. Like, exactly like that. And there should be like it's a double bogey. Luckily, you don't have to win golf, so you don't have to worry too much about what score you get. You just have to get through it fast. Alright, so hole 2 is a par 3, so it's not anywhere near as long, but it is very easy to hit the ball out of bounds here, especially with wind behind you like that. So we're going to sandbag it a little bit, and I still hit it out of bounds, but because I didn't hit hard enough, that should be okay now. Yeah, that's fine. It should be my swing next, but I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. There we go. Oh, yes, let's go. Oh, he always gets a birdie here because he's actually a Chad. Like the CPU basically gets the same the same group of shots on like every single like hole here. So this is a par 4, so it's a little bit longer. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna absolutely... That went way too far. That one should do that. I was testing the wind to see if it was any good. Yeah, that's more than fine. This guy always takes like 4 shots to this one, so it's fine. Let me just go. There we go. And that's him with his bogey, because he always gets a bogey on this hole. And there's my bogey, because, you know, I also played bad as well. Right, there we go. Got second. You'd have to win, as I said, so that passes that. If you had to win golf, Jesus, this game would be actually awful to speedrun, because that's really difficult to even win. Because, like, one wrong shot and you lose, because the AI does the same thing every time there, and always gets the same score. And if you just don't keep up with him, it's the second hole that gets you. It's the birdie. And then after that, he come back from school, and we're all saying hi to saying hi to people. And then Shiro comes, and he's been beaten up a little bit. Oh, I should maybe mention that the bully that's bullying Shiro is the son of the teacher there in the pink shirt, which is why the teacher hasn't done anything about it, basically, is what the kind of point of the story is. And there's Haruka. Right, so. Still not done with orphanage stuff. I've got a little bit more of it I've got to do for this section. We're going to go in here. And Taichi's having a conversation with Ayako. And, yeah, it turns out that Ayako has had some money stolen. So we got to work out who actually stole that. So we're going to call a family meeting. And we have to go around and collect the children. We have to tell Ayako to go to the meeting here, or she won't go. Shout out to the walking animation. Riona is in the room to the right here. The hitbox for talking to her is actually really big. So you can talk to her from like a mile away. And there's 3 more you've got to get outside, and then Haruka is in the kitchen. So we're going to grab these guys. I'm going to go grab Taiji because I keep forgetting about him. Taichi's like sulking in the corner over to the right. Over this side. There he is. And then there's 3 more on the beach. And then Kiryu is basically calling a, basically having a family meeting to, you know, throw shade at everyone and be like, one of you stole money here. And you got more beach. Right, so, if there's a text box that appears after Haruka that basically confirms you got everyone, I should have everyone. It's actually kind of easy to forget. Taichi's like the easiest one to forget because you do have to like go a little bit out of your way to grab him. Off to the right. And out of most things in this run, I forget to talk to Taichi there more than most other things that you do in this run. It is kind of impressive how bad I am at talking to Taichi there sometimes. Right, so Kiryu here is just gonna pretty much say that, like, pretty much throw shade and then say we need to work out who's done it. And we go back over to this room here, and we find Eri like playing about with Ayako's bag. And yeah, it turns out that Eri was the one that took the money. So we have to go have our little reconciliation scene, and then Kiryu basically says that no one's like guilty and the money was dropped outside. So while I'm going through these cutscenes and such, if you've got anything on hosting you need to say, feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely. I just wanted to let people know we've just opened a new target for the Have a Nice Death run. You can upgrade the category to Scythe only. We raise $150 for that. So when you get your donations in, make sure you're putting your donations towards one of our targets, as well as getting one of our rewards. You don't have to pick one or the other. You can do both for one donation. So get your donations in, folks, and let's make some runs even more interesting.
All right, let me just go back to the dining room here. You don't actually need to pan the camera down when you're walking in this area. But because I'm just used to doing it in like every single area of this game, I do it there anyway. Because I usually use it to like help turn Kiryu and such whenever I'm walking around. This game doesn't have a sprint button like some of the later games do. So in like a lot of the so in a lot of the games before like the original release of Ishin Zero and such, didn't have a sprint button. Just that was your movement speed in those games. Right, Haruka asks from assistance in the kitchen. And we're going to try to go to the kitchen. Hello, Taichi. Taichi tells us that there's someone outside looking very sus. So we're going to go outside and see if we can find him. So we got to run down to the beach, so there's no one there, and then we have to run back up to the orphanage. There we go. Nothing there. Oh, God. Don't get caught. Sometimes the movement in this game is kind of jittery. And hey, it's Rakia. Rakia's here because he wants to ask us for help saving Nakahara's adoptive daughter. Saki, if I remember correctly, is her name. Because they have no idea where she's gone. And Nakahara is very worried, so we've got to help our friend out here. Right, so we're actually going to use a taxi here. The taxis in Yakuza 3 are not amazingly, diverse with, where you can go. You've only got, 3 or 4 options at most. No fire spawn there, cool. And even in Kamurocho, you have, 3 options. So, yeah, the taxi list is not amazingly useful in this game, but it is useful for going from, the top of the map to the bottom or whatever. While I'm going through this text, where Nakahara basically says the same thing, that we need to help him find some sake, I'll talk about fight spawns. So fight spawns in this game are actually quite deadly and annoying. When I'm panning the camera down, you'll probably see me pumping it up and down every now and then. That's because when I do that, the feet that disappear from the bottom of the screen, like the shoes and stuff, are from the NPCs, and the ones that don't disappear are fight spawns. There's no way to despawn fight spawns in this game. The only way to reset fight spawns is completely refresh the map, which is by entering something like the Mahjong Parlor or going back to the orphanage and such and then coming back. So obviously there's no real way to do it a lot of the time if they're in the mile away from that location. So what you have to do is try to either walk around them, which can be scary because their hitboxes are really large, or you have to aggro them then run away. But while you're running away, you have to hope that you don't get caught on NPCs. By the way, that guy in yellow was a fight spawn. You can kind of tell, and then when they do spot you, they go, hey, and they run at you. If you have vibration on the controller, your controller also goes as well. Like kind of like a jump scare in a horror game. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, and if you get caught by a fight spawn, you lose 30 seconds at base, and then additional time for every single enemy that was a part of that fight. Cool. Oh, thank you, big guy. And yeah, so these are some grunts that fight us because we've come to Tamashiro's area because we believe that Mr. Tamashiro is the one that's taken Saki. So we're just going to kick these guys a little bit, and then yeah, we're going to go to his office building, which is at the back of this area. Right, so there can actually be fight spawns that appear all the way around here. There could be one by that black taxi. There is not. My practice runs coming up to ESA just had fight spawns all over the place. Spent half of my time just dodging fight spawns rather than actually progressing with the game. It's kind of what happens. Right. So Rakia is going back to tell Nakahara where Saki is. And we're going to run into this guy. This is Kamiyama, or the fidgety man, who he tells us his name, but this is Kamiyama. This man's like a weaponsmith guy. He makes weapons, does weapons. He's the weapon guy. So he tells us about his weapon shops and such, and then we get a free weapon that you're meant to take away and upgrade, but we're just gonna sell it at some point because we really don't need it. Right. It is also funny that in the back of this truck, there's just a dude sat there in green with sunglasses, with just swords and knives all over the wall. Right, so this is the Tamashiro office set piece. So set pieces are kind of our name for continuous fights into each other until there's an endpoint. in the Yakuza series. So this first part, we want to punch these guys. And hopefully I can line this guy up correctly. That's fine. Cool. So now this tutorializes us on breakable objects. Basically, I've already punched it a few times, so I just have to punch it twice. Run past all these guys, because it's going to become a common theme in Yakuza 3 that you don't actually need to fight a lot of the guys in any of these kind of continuous fight areas. So we're just going to run past a lot of them. Grabbing a couple of extra items in case I need them, but I should be fine. Right, so this part is just 2 QTs. They're both X. And this one, if you fail this one, you have to fight more guys. So that one you definitely don't want to fail. But you just kind of, coming out of this one, the camera's kind of random. Actually, I have to got a good camera there. The camera can kind of go in different directions. So you have to be wary of that one. Run past all these guys. Go in the room back here. And we actually have to do this fight because they lock the door. That's how you know it's a fight. Is when they lock the door. So, something I'm going to be trying to do as well. So the way you do damage optimally in this game with enemies is you want to bounce them between walls. But there are like rules that go with the bouncing between walls. They can only bounce like, I think it's 4 times between 2 objects or walls. So you need to like optimize what you're doing, and what you do at the start of your combo also affects how many different wall hits you can get. And then also at the same time, you want to be doing like hitting furniture into them, because furniture does additional damage on top of that. Alright, sorry, let me do my upgrades. Just gonna grab some of this. There we go. Grab him. Take him into the corner. This is Tamashiro. This is baseball bat time. So, baseball bats have this move here. This is called Flurry of Blows. Flurry of Blows is amazing. It does a lot of damage, builds a lot of heat. It's just also really good at stunning enemies. And what we're going to do is we're going to use it a few times with this guy. I do the swing before it, just to kind of make sure I get the hit, like kind of a bit of a buffer. A bit of like a setup for it, rather than just doing it raw. Because you can just kind of do it raw and like kind of get through the fight. And something else I'm doing as well is I'm making sure the final bat I use will break when I don't need it anymore, like that. And now I can just do what I did to Rakia, but to this guy. That's kind of bad. I need to push him somewhere else, which is very annoying. This corner's less optimal, but you can kind of get away with some stuff there. I was trying to avoid that, but I guess we got to eat the feel the heat. This is the feel the heat. You're trying to avoid these, but at least you get to see it once. This is where he headbutts them. It won't kill him, sadly. I would do a lot of damage. Now I've got to go. Okay, cool. Right, that's second phase Tamashiro, which you really don't want to see. Second phase Tamashiro gets super armor on a lot of his stuff, and gets like knuckle dusters, and also has like a really, really long QTE sequence. Luckily, you QTE and just stop it altogether. But in that case, yeah, you've had to sit through the QTE at least a little bit. But yeah, so during the time that we were gone, Nakahara got shot because, of course, Yakuza moment. So yeah, we're at the hospital now talking to Kashiwagi, who's a pretty loved character from a lot of the other Yakuza games. Talking about how Daigo has also been shot. So that's a problem. So chapter 4 is mostly about us preparing to go back to Kamurocho to basically investigate what the hell is actually happening. So yeah, Haruka is here asking, "Oh, are you gonna go?" And then Rakia is also asking to come. But yeah, so chapter 4 genuinely is probably one of the scariest chapters in this game. You wouldn't know from just looking at it, because it looks like you're just kind of running around the city for 20 minutes. But you're running around the city for 20 minutes trying to avoid fight spawns while trying to remember the route, while like trying to make sure you do the chain correctly, because everything in this game is kind of tied to story triggers. So you need to like do the sequences in the correct order for things to like go in the right way. So you have to do things in the way that I've been doing them, because otherwise you can't move on. So yep, there's the dog. So yeah, we do obtain a dog in this game, but he's a little bit wary of us for right now. He's going to run away. So we're gonna go find the dog. The dog runs to like the back corner of the city, but this also gives us an opportunity to pick up what are called locker keys. So locker keys are little collectibles hidden throughout the maps of these games that basically house like items that are useful. Some of them are useful, some of them aren't. Like some of them give you armor, some of them give you weapons, some of them give you like healing items, some of them give you like cheat items for the gambling games and such. So we need to pick up a few of them in this run. We pick up 5 in Okinawa and 2 in Kamurocho, and we need like all of them. Right, so the dog is back here. So we gotta walk up a couple of pretty spooky streets for fight spawns. But this should be okay. I've got nothing there right now. No, there's no fight spawn there. Right, so fight spawns around these few corners are really hard to avoid. So you're really hoping that you don't get the spawn for them here, because avoiding them can be very frustrating. The other annoying spot is down this little road here, because those 3 guys walking around to the right of me are a walking sub-story. So the sub-stories in these games are basically like me side quests with like goofy, zany characters and stories that you can go and do. But those 3 basically are a walking sub-story, and if you trigger them, you have to sit through the sub-story cutscene, and then they go somewhere else. The sub-story doesn't complete from there. So you need to, and they then go somewhere else where in the way of where you need to be. So you really don't want them to trigger. So if you're trying to avoid a fight spawn, you also have to think about them as well. If you get one in that corner, I think it should be an absolute nightmare to weasel your way through that situation. Oh yeah, this is the dog. We need to chase it down because he's running away from us. We just have to go around the corner a little bit. So I'll go over chases a little bit more when the actual tutorial comes up for it. But yeah, so this dog's going to hang out by this bike, and we're going to try and make a friend with him. There's lots of different options you can go for this dog, but we're going to try and get him the best option out of all of them. So we're going to get him some bones, because we all know dogs love bones. On the way through, I'm going to quickly grab this because I need this. Oh, wrong button. There we go. I forgot the controls for a second. Alright, now we've got to go in here. So we have to go into the M stores and ask about whether they have dog bones is like what we're doing. And this guy goes, of course we don't have dog bones. What are you talking about? Oh, what do you mean? And then just to doubly make sure, we're going to walk back in again and actually talk to him again and ask him the same question. And of course he's going to tell you the same thing, that he doesn't have bones. And now we're going to go back and see Izumi and dog. Sometimes the controls get messed up there. They didn't really do that for me that time. Cool. Right, now we're going to go back over here, talk to these 2 again. They get disappointed we've got no bones. But just to make sure, we're going to click definitely bones again. And that just skips the rest of the section. So basically what you do there is by going in and out of that shop twice and ask about whether they have bones, it for some reason triggers both completion things for like both of those dialogue things if you just press bones on the second one. So you don't have to go to the other M store, because what you're meant to do is you're meant to go to both sides of the city and talk to both the M stores. But Tapioca, one of the other Yakuza speedrunners, found that if you just talk to the one closest to you twice, it kind of just works. And I had to reload the map there to trigger this cutscene, so that's why I went into the Mahjong parlor. I don't know how to play Mahjong, so I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna stay in there. Right. So now that we've done that, that guy in grey is a fight spawn. We're gonna go very wide to avoid him. He said, "Hey, hey," and he's running at me. There he is. Right. So. If you ever see me take like really wide lines or really weird looking movement chains, it's more than likely I'm avoiding a fight spawn, because their hitboxes for triggering are very large, as I said. Right, so now what's going to happen is Rakia and Kiryu are going to have a little competition to see who can dress up our boy Mitsuo here in the best drip that we can get. because he's struggling to you know, discuss and make some plans with Riona. So Rakia runs off to get his drip, and we're gonna go get our drip as well. Right, I need a couple of locker keys from here. There's one on this pillar here. That's another baseball bat. There's one more I need to pick up en route to buying the clothes for Mitsuo. And it's on top of this sign right here. This is the Shadow Blade. The Shadow Blade just sells for 290k yen. So it's just incredibly useful to sell it. That guy in the brownish looking suit is another vice one. So we just bought the best drip we can for Mitsuo here. Make sure I don't get too close to him. There we go. Right, now we got to head back. So you can pick any of those options. It doesn't matter which one you pick. It basically just the game baits you into spending yen for no real reason in this section. Right, now on the way back. And we're going to get our boy in our drip. So he pretty much looks at Rakia's drip and goes, nah, that's not it. And then decides to put Kiryu's one on. And we brought him I believe it's the American polo and the cowboy hat. So yeah, my guy is going. And he's going to go try and talk to Riona again. Again, doesn't go well. So Kiryu's taste in fashion did not work. Right, so we're nearly done with this kind of little section. So we're going to try and leave the orphanage. And then Riona comes and speaks to us, asks for some help in the kitchen with something. And now we've helped. We're gonna leave, and she's gonna have a little conversation with Haruka, and then yeah, we gotta go in the city again to take a look for Mitsuo because he kind of disappears on us. All right. So while I'm moving on to the city and triggering all these cutscenes and such, if you've got anything on hosting you need to say, feel free to go ahead.
Sure, yeah, not a problem. We don't have any donations at the moment, but we do still have those rewards and targets open for people to put some money towards to make some of the runs later on today a little bit more spicy, shall we say. So we still have the Have a Nice Death upgrade in the category to Scythe only. That needs to reach $150. We are currently at 0. It's only just been opened. So please, when you get your donations in, don't forget to pick your target and pick your reward. You do not need to pick one or the other. You can have one of each on each of your donations. And also don't forget, if you need to get the link to donate, you can do !donate, or it is below the stream as well. So please, let's get some donations in while we support this amazing Yakuza run.
Right, so all I did there is Riona goes out with some friends, and Mitsuo kind of sees them being to her, so he helps her, and yeah, now they all cool again. So right before we got to do more, Kochi here wants to play some baseball. So we got to do another mini game where we play some baseball. And this is my favorite line in this game: baseball boys and baseball girls move out. And yeah, they're gonna move out all right. So we're gonna go down to the beach and play some baseball with these guys. So the baseball mini game here is actually, it does have some speed tech to it, because if you hit the ball normally, like you would do when you're trying to hit it as hard as you can, the cutscenes that play when you hit it like that are longer than if you just whack it straight towards the ground or bunt it towards the ground. So there's like an angle that you need to hold to like kind of get like a consistent angle through it, which is what I'm going to be doing. And you have to hit 10 shots back. It's not just 10 like balls they throw at you. You have to hit 10 shots. So we're going to quickly do that. The angle is about... Where's this? Like that. There we go. I was trying to get the angle right there. There we go. I've got the angle now. And now I've got 9 of these. Hopefully I get the bunt again. You also want to do this kind of late as well. Because the later you do it, the kind of the worse your shot is, kind of. Or if you do it incredibly early, it can kind of have the same effect. But you're trying to like squeeze like a bunt or hit in the middle of like when it's kind of right by where you are. It's kind of difficult to explain, but yeah. As long as you get this animation of it being whacked towards the floor, you're pretty much fine. If you do get other cutscenes, it is pretty funny. If you played this casually, kids fall over all the time. When like you hit it miles away from them, they like trip over pretty much everything. Go, only 4 more left. I've only got 1 bunt so far, which is pretty annoying. Even if you do this strat like this, you can actually get like a weird hit off the side where it like pings off the top of your bat. And it goes really high, like directly upwards, rather than like any amount forwards, which is pretty funny. But that's not something which I've seen super often. You have to hit it at like a really whack angle for that. All right, this is the last ball. And there we go. That's the end of baseball. That's pretty much the last mini game we have to play in this. And as I said before, one of the only games where you can't just quit the mini games. Most Yakuza games you can just quit straight out the mini games and just not care about doing them at all. Right, so Kiryu here's going to leave these guys to play some baseball with each other and with the new kid that appeared. And by the time we walk back up to the orphanage here, yeah, this kid Akari who just they invited over to play collapsed on the beach, like in that 20-second period of Kiryu moving away. And yeah, this whole cutscene is about how he shouldn't have pushed himself as hard or whatever. And then the same bully that was bullying Shiro earlier that was mentioned is also bullying him. So the mum gets very pissed at the teacher that is now running away. And that's kind of the end of that. Oh. Alright, so after this we can actually tell Haruka that we actually want to go to Kamurocho, so we can actually, you know, play a bit more of a Yakuza game rather than hanging around an orphanage for ages. Alright, so when we're leaving this area, there's actually a really large cutscene trigger to the right of us. If you played a lot of the sub-stories in Yakuza 2, there's a one where there's like a couple on a roof, and they look like they're gonna like fall off. So Kiryu and Haruka go up there and help them. Yeah, they're just walking around in this game, and they're on the orphanage's beach as part of like a cutscene chain thing that you can go and do in this game. But if you just walk around the cutscene there, you don't have to worry too much about them. All right, so we gotta go to the supermarket back here. This is actually a pretty spooky walk that I just went through without having any issue in the world, in classic marathon fashion. Fight spawns can appear in that little strip there, and they are impossible to avoid. So Haruka needs to go shopping here, but we can just go. And yeah, we're all done shopping now. Like the 2 seconds. All right, so now we've got to leave here. We used to have to go into this area twice, all the way to the back of it, which was one of the scariest things in any Yakuza game I've ever played when you're trying to speedrun them. But now we're done, we can just kind of go back. They're used, and then we can... Oh god, that is a fight spawn. I'm not going near that guy. If I'd continued on that line, he would have caught me. So losing a couple of seconds there to not get caught by a fight is definitely worth it. Right, now we can just get going. Or not, because now we've got to deal with Mac. So Mac here is another tutorial guy. He's going to tutorialize us on what are called revelations. So revelations are kind of like a mechanic where Kiryu will watch someone do something, and then he'll write like a blog post about it. and get like some heat move or some other ability from doing that thing. So this one here you have to do. So this is in my notes that I've got in front of me, the funny granny on bike cutscene, because that's pretty much what we're going to watch. So, you know, she sees the, I believe he's an actor or singer or something that she really likes. Gonna take a lovely tumble. And we got to take the pictures. If you get any of these QTEs wrong, and there's a question afterwards you got to ask, you got to watch this cutscene again. Which is, well, it's definitely worth it, but obviously slower if you're trying to speedrun. But the question is always option 1 here, which is she did a flip and landed magnificently. So Kiryu does his little speed type and learns how to do a heat move, which is exactly what I take from watching that cutscene. He learns how to flip over people and kick them into railings. That's the true essence of learning a skill, is watching that occur like that.
Bye.
Alright, so because I'm in this area, I'm actually nearby where the locker key thing is. Pick all the locker keys up. There's one more locker key I've got to grab, which is over here. Up here, there we go. Go around here. Those 3 girls in the blue cardigan things are actually a sub-story, so you want to avoid them at all costs as well. Cool. Now you got to grab the Expulsion 12, one of the best shotguns in the game. The Shadow Blade, which we use for selling. A double action revolver. A blackjack amulet. And a baseball bat. A quick menu. I'm going to buy double finishing blow. And I'm going to put some items on. Gun goes there. And now we have got everything we need to leave. Oh my god, can I like get around the tables, please? There we go. Alright, now we are done with Okinawa for right now. So we're going to go back to that taxi spot there, and then we're going to go to Kamurocho. This first trip between Kamurocho and Okinawa is actually free. But every preceding trip after this is like 30k yen, which is actually can be a problem if like you don't have enough money to go between the cities. Right, so now we're in Kamurocho. The first place that we're going to go is Stardust. Sorry, my throat died there. And say hi to host buddies. But of course we walk in and some stuff's going down like it always is. And these guys are trying to buy out the Stardust dance club away from Yuya and Kazuki. And yeah, and in classic Yakuza fashion, we're just going to punch them and tell them to go away. So once this cutscene's over, the boss fight with this guy Hasebe starts. And it's him with a bunch of his like goons. But yeah, we're just going to pull out a pistol and shoot this man. And this is where you say the meme that Kiryu doesn't kill people, but, you know. That's him done. Right, the reason why you want to shoot that man is because he has, like, different phases and things. If you punch him normally, it, like, transitions to cutscenes and doesn't let you, like, kill him very easily because he goes into heat mode and such. I whiffed that guy. That's fine. And that guy should be fine. That guy should be getting up in a second. That was a pretty good fight. Right, so, and that's the end of chapter... That is the end of chapter 4. Now chapter 5 again. So chapter 5 is also kind of short as well. It's mostly like a, oh, welcome back to Kamurocho kind of thing, because this is like... Kamurocho a number of years after Kiryu left. So from his perspective, it's like very different. And these guys are trying to give him a little bit of an update as to, you know, what's been occurring. And then we get a phone call from Kashiwagi, who basically goes, can you come to Kamurocho and see me? And Kiryu's like, but I'm already here. And now and then we go see Kashiwagi, which is basically what this chapter is all about. There's a couple of things we need to go grab from a couple of places first, though. We need a couple of locker keys. And there's a boss fight between then and talking to Kashiwagi. So, oh, can I get around the lamp? Yeah, so the locker key we need to grab is in a shop. Luckily it's the shop it gives you access to, because this part you're kind of railroaded into a certain area. Because it's kind of implied that the police are everywhere, so you're kind of like railroaded around. But basically, in order to not like screw you out of items, they give you access to a single shop. Just happens to be the one that has the right item in that we need. So we're going to quickly run down there and grab it, because there's no other point in the run where we're over this far to go get it. But also we actually need to grab the item from it in a minute, because we're never near the Millennium Tower again during this run, which is where the locker key kind of dispenser thing where we grab our items from is. We're going to grab that. Come back around and we're going to go back up again. So as I said, we're kind of railroaded into like a particular direction here. So we're going to go on the next turning. There is a guy in a suit who's going to run at us. He's an NPC, he's not a fight spawn. He does get a lot of people first time though when they are playing this game, or they're trying to like learn this game for the speedrun. That guy does indeed spook a lot of people, because he is pretty scary when the guy runs at you and he's not even a fight spawn.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, this is the man in black. Cool, that was a really, really good hit. So the man in black is known as the mysterious foreigner for right now. And we're just going to shotgun him a couple of times. I'm going to hit this guy while I'm here. Now I'm going to try and loop this guy with combos like I did with Tamashiro at the end. And I've got the right hit right now, but I'm mistiming my combos. And we're nearly done. There we go. That's actually a perfect fight. Ideally, what happens at the start of that fight is all three of his little ads get caught in like you swinging your baseball bat. It didn't happen there, but two of them took the hit, and one of them took a lot of damage, which was very, very useful. Right, so now this is the chasing tutorial. We see this other man in black and go, he is also part of that group that just attacked me, even though if you've been paying attention, that is just Mac, who we just saw in Okinawa. And hit him a couple times. You actually can't finish this chase until the tutorial if it's basically over, so we just hit him a couple times and run through to the end. Right, so during chases, you can sprint by holding the right trigger. You basically hold it the whole time. You can jump over different things and do little QTs like that X button there to like look really cool and jump over the car. But it's fastest to run around it. If you run into any NPCs, you clank off them as if they're like a wall. You like dunk into them and you fall backwards a little bit, which is not very useful. You really don't want to do that.
All right.
So now we've worked out that that's Mac. We're going to ignore where the game is telling us to go, and we're going to go around this way. So we need to open up the weapon shop for later. If we don't do it now, there's no other good time to do it, and it just loses time. So we're going to open up the weapon shop now. The weapon shop is not needed until Chapter 9, but when you come over here in Chapter 9, you can't open the weapon shop because you'll have Date following you, who's a character who we'll get into in a minute. And you can't open the weapon shop while you have someone following you around, basically. He'll come into the shop with you once it's open, but you can't open it. And while we're here, we're going to sell some items. I'm going to sell the Shadow Blade and the Expendable Wax. And then get some money. Okay, right, so. There's one more locker key we've got to pick up. It's in this bar here. Oh, don't get caught there. In Bantam. That back past the dartboard guy. There it is. Right, now we're going to go collect the locker key things. There's only two we need in Kamurocho, luckily. One of them's a shotgun again, and one of them is a different shotgun to the one we've already got. and the other one is a blackjack amulet, which will be needed in Chapter 9. And then I've got one more menu I need to do to quickly, like, sort myself out for a little bit on my items and such. There we go. Right. Now I'm going to quickly buy heat moves, because I haven't actually bought heat moves yet. There we go. I brought a HP increase there because you want it for a little bit of extra heat bar for one of the set pieces, just so you don't have to hit as many enemies on the way through a section when you're trying to get through it. Right, so now we go through the Millennium Tower again, and we're going back up to the lift, but this time we're going to go to the Kazuma family office and talk to Kashiwagi. So while I'm having this conversation with Kashiwagi, if you've got anything on hosting you need to say, feel free to go ahead.
Brilliant timing, because we just had a $40 donation from Fifkun, I think that's the name. Comment is, awesome to see this run. Good job on the commentary. When I finally get to play Yakuza, I'll probably start with Like a Dragon, so it's good to watch what happens before that. And taking advantage of our wonderful rewards and targets there, so getting themselves a Goosebird shirt, so enjoy that, as well as putting towards the M&M Shell Shocked All Cutscenes target, which is currently standing at $90 out of the 150, so only 60 more to go. Don't forget to get your donations in, guys, and thank you for that donation as well.
Right, so during those cutscenes, a helicopter with a minigun decided to shoot through the window, and Kashiwagi got shot, so Kiryu has blood on his suit now. And now, because there's police crawling around everywhere, like got mentioned in the previous chapter, you're going to have to run around Kamurocho avoiding the police, because Kiryu's already been to prison once, if you know the story of these games. This part's the worst part of this entire thing. Got to dodge all these guys whilst they're on the police, that's fine. If the police grab you, you have to mash to like a cutscene thing with them, a QTE, which is pretty annoying. On the higher difficulties though, on Legend, if you get caught by one of these QTEs, you basically just are dead, because the bar goes down, like your stamina bar goes down faster, depending on the difficulty you're on. I am getting caught because I camped on that guy. But yeah, this is what happens if you get caught. And this QT is actually very long, depending on which version of it decides to give you. Alright, we're nearly done. Also, you go around objects you're meant to jump over, because it's a little bit faster. Now, this next one you do not, because there is a police guy right there who legitimately is there to just catch you for trying to be fast. So, yeah, you don't do that. And once we're done with that, we run into Date. And Date is going to tell us we need to go to a super secret area that he's going to take us to. Unfortunately, Date walks slower than we do and also runs slower than we do. So we need to push him, which is very annoying. Date kind of has a set line he wants to go down. And if you push him too far from that set line, he'll correct himself before he moves on. So you need to be like in there, but like trying to like push him kind of subtly. And whenever he starts walking, you need to walk, because that means you're by a policeman. And Date here used to be a detective. He's now a reporter in this game, but he used to be a detective. That I pushed him too far to the right. So let me concentrate here. There's another police guy there. If a police guy does see you and runs at you, a cutscene starts where they go, "Who are you?" And then Date goes, "It's fine. He is with me." And they go, "Ah, yes," and let you go, because Date has high police respect because he used to be a detective, even though he's walking around with a guy that's basically covered in blood. All right, let me push this guy past. Go. Okay. Should run in a second. There we go. Right. So the next push, probably the worst one. So in this area, Date gets kind of messed up. If you push him too far forward, he gets stuck behind that car. Or he decides to do that, or he's going to do this. Hang on. Wait for him to move. There we go. Because NPCs can also push him around and ruin his like lineup. So you got to be very careful with what you're doing here. Push, push, push. There we go. He's a little bit too far to the right there, so he's going to correct himself a little bit. There's 2 more walking things you need to do. There's this guy here. Actually, sticking on this guy is actually really difficult. But he does walk way slower than you, so just jittering him forward is always better than, like, even like a little bit. Oh my god, okay. So this super secret place he wants to take you to is in fact Serena. If you know anything about the Yakuza games, Serena is basically wherever... So once you've been to Stardust, you go to Serena. That's kind of the meme of how this works. And now, this is Kiryu's kind of little catch-up cutscene, where he gets caught up on all the different Yakuza bosses that now exist in this game. Because, of course, the roster of bosses gets updated in every single one of these games. That's Kanda. This is Mine. Kanda and Mine are more important for this game. Then the last one is... oh, I've forgotten his name now. He's more important in Yakuza for Hamazaki, that's it. He's in this game a little bit, but he's way more important in Yakuza 4, which is where he kind of has the most done with his character. Now we're done with that. Make sure you don't mash too much, because if you mash too much, you have to sit through one of those cutscenes again. Right. So, our first point of call is to work out what's happening is we need to go find Kanda, which is what we're going to go do. So now that we've spoken with Data, we're going to go find Kanda. Then when we leave, we find out that Rakia kind of followed us to Kamurocho because we kind of ditched him in Okinawa because we're like, it'll be safer for you here, even though he wanted to come with us. And he's kind of lost, so we need to go find him before we go find Kanda. There we go. Right. He'll send you a few text messages throughout the area when you walk in, but it's always the bottom option, so it's pretty lucky that it's always the bottom option. You kind of just run through. So this is Taichi asking for like a magazine issue thing, because they come out earlier in this area of Tokyo / Kamurocho than they do wherever they live in Okinawa. And as you can see, when the camera isn't panned down, all those NPCs spawned. And fight spawns can be hidden within those NPCs. So if you're not paying attention, you can get absolutely destroyed by them. Alright, cool. Again, the bottom option. I'm shoving that guy down. That guy in the grey is a fight spawn. So if I wasn't careful or paying attention, he would have also nailed me as well. So luckily there's no one down here yet. Right. So when we're walking into the shop we need to walk into, because we need to go into the M store here. But there's no one here. This animation of you walking into the door, you're not immune to fight spawns during that bit there when the screen fades out. If a fight spawn hits you during that fade out, the fight spawn takes precedence over that. And it looks very janky, and everyone who runs this game has fallen for that fight spawn, or like a fight spawn that hits you there at some point. It's kind of one of those rite of passage things, because of course when you're walking into a shop the game goes, nah, you got to do the fight first. Right, so this cutscene here was a bit of restored content from the original Japanese PS3 version. So when they localized this game originally for the PS3, they took out a bunch of content to kind of help speed up the localization progress. Yeah, they decided to add it back in with Remastered, which is really nice. But it does mean we have an extra cutscene here now that we have to skip through. There we go. So this cutscene is about him asking whether Kiryu can ask what the photographer's name is that took his photo a few years ago in Kamurocho. That's basically what it is. You can go follow that up, and there's a bunch of stuff with it, but we don't need to do that. Oh god, that's a fight spawn. That actually really caught me there. Right. Oh my god. So Ricky is here because he's helping out some woman who's getting bothered by these guys who are like Kanda's goons. So we're gonna get a baseball bat out, and we're gonna swing, and that takes out most of them. What are you doing, man? Just... Oh, short kick me, thank you. And that should be that for those guys. There you go. Right, when you knock enemies down in this game, it's actually pretty annoying to hit them when they hit the ground, because when they hit the ground enough flat, there's no real way to hit them outside of heat moves. When they're kind of bouncing a little bit, you can hit them with the kick. But if you're not careful, you get the heat move. Luckily, it doesn't matter too much if you use a heat move at this point, because you don't really need them that much. And when we need the next one, we're definitely going to have enough heat bar, but then it's ages away from here. Right. Now we have Rakia following us. And there's also a bunch of stuff you can go do with Rakia, much like with Haruka at the start of the game. And he has a bunch of sub-stories and different things you can go and do. Alright, so we're going to go up to the hotel up here. Hotel that gets used for a lot of different set pieces for different Yakuza games. Or for different cutscenes and sub-stories and things. But yeah, so we find out from those goons that Kanda is here. And we're going to go pay him a little visit, basically. So Rakia, for some reason, on the remastered version, just spins there during that cutscene. He doesn't do that on PS3. He just spins. Alright, so we've got Funkanda, but first we've got to beat up these guys. There's a fire extinguisher on the floor there that I'm actually being very wary of where it's located, because I don't want it to, break. I'm going to hit these guys. Something I was trying to do is also hit them into the walls as well, so then they take additional damage. There we go. Now we've done that, we need to go through all the rooms. So, Kanda is in 3 separate rooms on different things in this. So the first one we need to go up to a couple of floors up. Floor. Is it that floor? Yeah, it's the floor. My brain is losing it right now. He's in this door back here. There he is. Luckily, he's in the same room every single time, so it's not completely random. Again, much like having to win golf, if that was a thing in this game, that would also make this game a nightmare. Right, so the reason why we need fire extinguishers is fire extinguishers are busted against these guys. We're just going to shoot them with the fire extinguisher, and that just gets rid of them for us. Otherwise, these guys take a heat move, or they're very annoying to deal with. That sofa was still making some funny noises. Right, now he's in this room at the back here. Luckily, when you do this little cutscene, the game lovingly drops your fire extinguisher for you, which is lucky, because otherwise you have to do it manually. And it drops it over here for some reason. It's miles away from you. Right, so block that guy. You have to block that hit because otherwise you get knocked down. Now this sofa's going to be the way. No, I actually just phased through it. Cool. Classic moment. There we go. Move that sofa. Kanda is in this room here. And there we go. That's the end of this section. Right, so the Kanda boss fight is actually really difficult, so I'm going to shut up for a second while I try and do it. If I fail it, I will let you know. Oh, that's kind of not good. Okay, cool, we got it. Right. So that fight there, you have to do the heat move into the shotgun chains perfectly, or he stands up and automatically goes into phase 2. And when he starts phase 2, he does a cutscene where he pulls a coin off, a giant stone coin off of the wall, and tries to hit you with it. And then second phase is him trying to hit you with the coin, and then when the coin breaks, and then when the coin breaks, he'll pick up the second coin. So you need to beat him before the first coin breaks if he goes into phase 2. And then he has more stuff after that if you let him get to that point. There's a fight spawn there, so I'm just going a little bit out of my way to avoid him. And when you do those shotgun shots after the heat move, they need to be instant because of how his stun thing is. I had to do an extra heat move there because I whiffed part of the baseball bat. But if you get the full baseball bat, you do that in one less heat move. Oh, and if you don't split the bill here, Rakia runs you dry. Yeah. Legitimately, this man eats all the sushi you could possibly imagine. He's like, no, I'm taking all your money, mate. You said you'd pay? But yeah, so once we've done that, we can tell Rukia to go away. We need to get on with our speedrun. Every single Yakuza speedrunner has gone on a wonderful adventure here with Rukia and gone to loads of different places around Kamurocho, but we're just going to tell him to go away. He does give us an item that we do get to sell, so we are going to do that in a minute. Right, so after that, we need to go up here. We're heading to the taxi spot, which is in the top right-hand corner. But then also, another reason to come up here is this is where Kamiyama's like little workshop thing is. So you can like customize weapons and armors and things in this game. But something else this man can do for you. He can reload your guns for a lot of money. So we're going to reload our firearms. Because we need more bullets. We need that one. We need that one. And that one. There you go. Right, so we have enough money left to kind of get to the end of the game now. Right, now we got to go back to Serena again. We have to deal with Tenkaichi Street in a second, which is another pretty annoying fight spawn location thing. So hopefully that goes fine. So as I said, there's only 2 taxi spots in this game, and they're kind of like pretty mediocre locations, to be honest. Like, it's not too terrible if you're from Serena up to the top. But if you need to go anywhere in the middle, you do just have to walk. That guy is not fight spawn. Okay, cool. Right, while we're heading to Serena, though, we get stopped by this cutscene. This cutscene is for, like, the bounty hunter, hitman mission types of things. So while this cutscene's playing, if you've got anything you want to say on hosting, go ahead.
Absolutely. Let's have another look at some of the amazing rewards that you can get when making your donations. If you'd like to get your hands on a Goosebert shirt, then please donate $40 and you can get an amazing shirt with our wonderful friend Goosebert on there. If you don't fancy that shirt, though, you can always get the ESA Winter 2024 shirt, which has some of our top runners on there displaying characters of the runs that they do. It's really cool. I've got one myself, and I do highly recommend it. And don't forget to check out some of the other rewards that allow you to influence some of the runs that are happening today. There are still a few options on there in order to do that. Don't forget, exclamation mark donate. Exclamation mark donate to... It's alright. No worries. Exclamation mark donate to find the link. Also, if you want to find it below the stream, it is in the About section below as well. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that, Dino. I didn't mean to cough.
It's okay. It happens. Don't worry. It's a long run.
Yeah. Right, so now we've got to go back to Serena. Again, there can be a lot of fight spawns around here. Oh god, my chest is going. Right, that's fine. Yeah, go around here. Around here. All good. Right, so now this is a really funny place for chapter to end. We just kind of say, yes, we're done. And then the chapter kind of ends, but yeah. So first things first, we're inviting Rukia to be able to stay here. And then, yeah, now the chapter kind of ends. Let's talk, and that is it. And then we go into the next chapter, which is chapter 7. Chapter 7 is the Mad Dog, and is basically a Majima chapter because, of course, we got to go say hi to Majima again. So this chapter is basically just the Majima boss fight again, because we got to just go fight Majima, and that's going to be the end of the chapter. So we're just going to go straight there because he's living in what is called Purgatory. And his like kind of construction company is the one that was kind of building all the Millennium Tower. Or Millennium Tower. Kamurocho Hills, that's what it's called. Oh, my Millennium Tower, Kamurocho Hills, I'm getting those confused now. One lucky thing though, when you're on this part of Kamurocho, you can't get into fight spawns. It's just like a rule that they had in a bunch of Yakuza games for ages. That you just can't get into fight spawns there. And here we go. Oh, okay, drop my down input. We'll try again. Right, cool. We're in that time. Again, we need to walk to a particular location here with Majima, and he's just going to stroll very leisurely. So we're going to try and push him, much like we did with Date. But it's a little bit easier to push Majima because we don't have to like walk behind him, and he doesn't stop or change speed. So we can kind of just like loop around him over and over, just jittering him forward and forward. Or pushing him back like that on accident, but yeah, it's fine, we deal with it. Pretty good push. These pushes have been pretty pooped towards the end though, because I'm missing his shoulder. If you get lucky here, you can push him against the like wall at the side and get like a really good push on him. And there we go, that's how we push him. And then we walk into Colosseum and then Kiryu's like, why are we here? And Majima's like, it's because we must fight. And that's basically what we're going to do. So here's the second Majima fight in this game. So the first bit of this fight, we want to kind of like do a little bit of damage through the green HP bar that he has. Oh my god, Majima, calm down. Holy moly. Jesus, man. You're not normally that aggressive. Jeez. You want to do a little bit of additional damage here before you go into what we're going to do to loop him, which is about now. Which is shotgun. Heat. Shotgun. Heat. Shotgun. Heat. Shotgun. Heat. And that should finish him off there. So again, it's very similar to the Kanda chain. That strat was actually found before the Kanda strat, so the Kanda strat is actually like got found when the baseball bat stuff got found. Did this a couple of years ago, because the baseball bat at the start is kind of what makes the Kanda strat kind of possible, using a baseball bat for a bit of damage, because he kind of just ignores like other physical attacks that like you do to him, so he just doesn't really care. And this is just Majima updating Kiryu with what's happening with the Tojo clan and such. And this is Florist. The Florist is like a information broker that basically deals in all the information within Kamurocho. He basically has his eyes and ears all over Kamurocho, using the homeless people as like his information network gaining stuff. Then he basically tells us that the Chinese triad are trying to invade. So we're going to phone Rick here and ask him to, like, hide. But by the time we get through to him, he's already basically been ambushed and captured. Because, you know, it's Rikia. He gets involved in a fight and just actually gets bodied. We do love our boy, though. What am I doing? First thing I want to do is I want to put that there. Right there. There we go. It just set up my menu a little bit there. So the baseball bat I have left, the shotgun I have, and the pistol are all needed for the upcoming set piece and boss fight chain. So once we're out, that before I go, I need to take a stop at the item box though. So we need to empty our inventory a little bit. There's a couple of ways to do this. You can either discard all the items and just delete them, but we actually need to sell the expulsion. So because we need to sell the expulsion, it's a little bit easier to just like shove everything we don't need in there and then just move on. The expulsion selling is pretty important because it basically gives us our ticket back to Okinawa. As I said, going back to Okinawa costs you about 30,000 yen. So yeah, without that money from the expulsion, we are short by surprisingly only like 10,000 or so yen. It's kind of funny that it like overblows us by a little bit, but that's kind of how the money route works out in this game now. It's kind of the start of the set piece now. So this is like this game's Kamurocho set piece. Every single Yakuza game tends to have like a set piece where you run through the middle of Kamurocho, or like an area similar to Kamurocho. Kamurocho, there we go. And this is kind of this game's version of it. So So we need to take out these guys first. I'm trying to hit them into signs and things to like chain the damage, as I said. Like that. Also trying to actually move. There we go. Right, so the main kind of mini boss of this set piece is he's called like the captain or something, but he's a guy in a purple shirt, so we call this guy Purple Shirt Guy. Purple Shirt Guy is a bit of a nightmare to deal with sometimes. So we're gonna grab a pistol and kind of go into the fight. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. Some people grab both pistols from both guys and like chain throw them down the road to get them to that point. But I do a single pistol strat and then I use a baseball bat on this guy. But there's loads of different ways you can do kind of this chain of events. This is just kind of how I do it. Make sure you pick up that. Get in his face, because sometimes these guys get in the way of your shots. And you don't want that to happen, because that's very annoying. Oh, lovely. Lift half of that. I'm trying to make sure that this guy doesn't get away from me. There we go. Right. That's pretty annoying. So sometimes when you do get the full baseball hit on him, you get like way more damage on him. So second part of him is a lot easier. But he runs away and we have to chase him down. So part of the reason why I brought my HP upgrade is that I don't have to hit people during this section. So I can heat move this guy with the bike and just smack the hell out of him. Now I'm going to run through here. Again, I don't have to fight many of these enemies, only a few of them. But this guy here has a gun, so we're going to hit him. Obviously ignore the guy that hit us in the back, because we don't care. Bunch of guys with swords. There's another guy with a gun here, which we actually do want. We're going to shoot that guy, and we're going to shoot this guy with the bike. Something that I'm doing when I'm shooting as well is you can actually, normally what most people do when they shoot is they lock onto enemies in this game to shoot. But when you lock onto enemies while shooting, like the fighting stance thing it tells you about at the start, you actually shoot slower. And this was like something which we didn't know as the community for ages. And then some random guy went into Freeb's chat and was like, yeah, you do realize if you if you don't lock on, you actually do like shoot way faster. Can you actually do your thing, please? Right, cool. So this guy's pretty annoying, but he does have like a hit chain thing. If you hit him 4 times, he'll retaliate and hit you. So you can just use that to dodge around the back of him and hit him. Kind of what I was waiting for him to do. Right, so now we've got to chase him. Because he's going to run away. But yeah, chase is just we're going to hit him a few times, then we're going to knock him down. If you do this right, there we go. Before he gets around the corner, really. Something funny, if you know anything about these games, the RGG studio guys like to reuse assets all the time. That, like, chase animation is, like, still used to this day. Like, when you catch them, the picking up animation is, like, it was used in Lost Judgment. And it's used in, like, loads of different things that they make. Because they are the kings of going, well, we have this, we may as well just keep using it. These guys with the poles are going to run past them. This guy with the bike can be annoying. But if we just go that there, we can just dodge him. And in classic fashion, we don't have to deal with anyone. We can just go straight through. Run past these guys. This guy throws knives at you, so he can be a bit annoying. Just want to dodge the first one. While trying not to, like, actually trying to hit the bloody gate, please. There we go. Around there. But those do drop items, but you don't want anything to do with those because they just get in the way. Grab that pistol. We need it to deal with a guy we actually have to deal with. There we go. Oh my god, there's a guy with a gun behind me. Calm down, please. Oh my word. Right, so. So this is the red shirt guy. because, you know, he's different from the purple shirt guy because he has a different shirt. I'm going to shoot him with this. Fill out this. Shoot him with that. Do that. Shoot him with that. Put that away so I don't get an accidental shot, and then get rid of him like that. That was pretty good. Right, now we dealt with that. Now we actually have the final boss fight of this. This is Lao Kao Long. Lao Kao Long is a character that appears in the first few Yakuza games. But we're just going to completely wreck him right now. So we shoot him, do a heat move. Shoot him with the pistol, and that basically skips the whole fight because this guy is a very annoying fight to deal with normally. He has loads of weapons, loads of different things, and has auto counters, and God only knows what else, but yeah. Right, I'm actually going to make a quick save here. Because this section can get a little bit spooky that I'm going into. So this is chapter 9, also known as the plot, because this is where all the plot gets told to you when you're playing this game. But before we get to the plot, we need to do something which is way, way, way more important. So skip through all these cutscenes. This is Mine trying to prove his, like, oh, I'm a good guy or whatever, but essentially what he shows us is a head in a bag and goes, yeah, I did this, and we go, what the hell are you talking about? So, yeah, we have unanimously decided Mine does need to be stopped. Right, got to talk to Rikia because he needs to be following us in order to leave this area. Because we need to say goodbye to him and send him back off to Okinawa. While I'm here, ditch those. Because I no longer need them. Now we're gonna go and play some blackjack. So you might notice I have 2 blackjack amulets in my inventory, and those give you 5 free blackjacks each. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spend 100,000 yen on 1,000 chips. Basically tank our pockets real quick and go play some blackjack. If you give me a minute, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to count out these blackjacks because there's a couple of little things I need to be looking out for to make sure I actually get things correct on them. So just make sure I don't mess it up. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. That's 5. Hopefully I don't screw here. I got screwed, okay. I have to win this hand raw, basically. Oh, this is going to be a... Well, that's a dead run. We'll try it one more time, and then we'll... I have a save file that we can load to basically skip past that. But pretty much this segment here, Blackjack, has around approximately a 33% chance to just completely murder a speedrun as soon as like you get to it. So I'll usually get like a single reload or whatever during a marathon run, and then I'll load the save I've got. Unfortunately, the save does mean I have to go through the beginning part of the chapter again. But it's like the closest save point I've got, basically. Other than walking all the way to the other side and then coming back again. So by the time you've done everything, it's basically the same amount of time. Right, so what happened there was, you get 5 blackjacks from a blackjack amulet, and then you need to not get a high stakes hand, which is a all or nothing kind of like hand that you need to win in order to get a load of chips. And the best way to do it is to win it with obviously with a blackjack, which if you don't get a chance to use, there you go. Don't get a chance to use an item because you're not allowed to use an item on the turn a high stakes round appears. So that's why I couldn't use the item, because you can't do it then. It just doesn't let you. So let me like go back in again. And we'll try this again. And hopefully it goes a little bit better this time. But yeah, in general, this is like the only game left that has like a section like this in like Yakuza speedruns. Most of them don't rely on like something like this to get money. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now I get to use item again. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. I need it on this next hand or the next 2 hands. There we go. We have gambled successfully. Now we can just leave. Right, so we're going to take all those ships that we just got and we're going to buy a ton of platinum plates. So the platinum plates sell for a load of money, so that's kind of why we need them. But we're going to buy 20 of them. So now we are stacked out on money. So now we're going to go leave, and before we continue on with the story, we are going to go to the Ebisu Pawn in Kamurocho and sell those items because we need all the money. And then that pretty much sets us up for the end of this game. It is a little, like, it is a little bit unfortunate that this game has something like that, but, you know, you kind of just have to deal with it when kind of how this game worked out in the speedrun sense. But, yeah, what we're going to buy with the money, though, is pretty funny. It basically, like, we're going to buy a load of guns. So if you've noticed, this game has become very gun-based over the years, and that's pretty much literally what we're going to do. We're just going to fire our way through the rest of it. Right, so again, we have Rakia here, and we can go on little adventures with Rakia. But now we're just going to tell him to get in the taxi and go home. And yeah, this is Tamiya decides to phone us, and this is a guy that appears way earlier in the story. He's like a politician who's also trying to get a hold of Kiryu's land or whatever. Because apparently he also needs it. But he wants it because he needs it for like a separate purpose kind of like thing that he tells you about in a minute, where he's trying to flush out like an evil government organization thing from America. Now we're going to talk to this guy. Go to South Nakamichi Street. I'm going to go up here. As I said, make a quick trip to Ebisu Pawn. And we're going to make a ton of money. We make about 3 million yen from doing this. There we go. Tidy 3 million yen just in our pockets now. And now we're going to go see Date. So during that conversation we had by the taxi, Date asks if he come with us to talk to Tamiya, because he's like a reporter, and he's like, oh, I think I can get a good scoop from this. Or, yeah. And then, as I said before, when I opened up the shop, the weapon shop on the other side of Kamurocho, this is the part of the run where you need that weapon shop. A guy in green is a fight spawn. Let me... Oh, I got caught by the NPCs. No! Right, so this is what happens when you get into a fight. These guys shouldn't have too much HP because they're just gangsters. That's it. He has a taser, which is fine. That guy, this guy should be dead in one combo as well, even if he blocks. There we go, that was more than fine. That was only like a 30-second-ish time loss, 30, 40. If you get unlucky, these guys give you items. No, he gave me money, which is useful. Because then I don't have to ditch any items, fix my menus. And let's go. That was kind of unfortunate there. Just got a little bit unlucky with the NPC spawns. Right, so we're going to take a little bit of a weird route to get up there. This route's a little bit more consistent with, like, people and fight spawns and such. The guy in the red trousers was a fight spawn. But luckily he didn't kind of face towards me, so he didn't trigger. That guy there in the suit is the guy we need to talk to in a second. But we need to go over here and talk to... purchase all of our equipment first. So Date, being an ex-policeman and detective, right, doesn't let you open this while he's with you. But he's fine with watching you walk into this area. Go down to 13, go and buy 13 of these, and then also hand over to this man a shotgun that you've been carrying around this entire time and sell it to him. And we got our money. There we go. Now I'm going to quick do the options menu, going to put that on that. There we go. Right. So pretty much most fights in this now, we use the guns to get through them, but they're usually in like pretty like specific things you need to do with some of them. At the end of the game, there's actually a lot of like thought and like counting that goes into it. But yeah, so this is the plot. This is where Tamiya basically tells you everything that's going on. Like the purpose of the military expansion bill is to flush out the evil American secret organization thing run by the guy earlier that we thought he looks like the Man in Black or the Mysterious Foreigners at the start of chapter 5. And then he also asks us to help his buddy out because he's in danger in Okinawa. For how the CIA are involved, because apparently the CIA are involved as well. Everything goes hella deep with this. And then obviously Mine is just being a general jerk, so we need to also deal with him as well, because he's also involved with all of this as well. While we're doing that, some security guards decided to come and attack us. That guy was sliding in, oh my word. Oh, thank you. Can you like not? Okay, can you not as well? It is kind of useful that they did that to me because they actually get to spawn in a little bit more. Gun, you. There we go. So something with that, because you're not aiming, you kind of have to like have an idea of where they're possibly going to be. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. I don't want to save. Don't make me save. Yes. Cool. Cool. We don't save. Oh, what are you doing? No. There we go. Yes. Right. We're not saving. We don't need to save anymore. Stuck in the save menu for the rest of my life. Right. So chapter 10. Chapter 10, we actually have to go back to Okinawa for a little bit. And we have to do a little bit more orphanage stuff with the kids. Because we basically need to kill some time before we have to help Tamiyama's friend, because the hit that's been put on him that Tamiya said about from the CIA is not due to take place until like the evening after we get there or something. So we're going to go down here, and part of the reason, as I said, why we need to sell the shotgun at the end is because it gives us more than enough money to make sure that we can afford this trip. And there we go. We're going back to not Kamurocho, to Okinawa via taxi to the airport. Right, now we're back in Okinawa. We're going to quickly go around here. Those two on the left there are a sub-story, which is why I didn't like walk down in there, because you can get you can kind of get destroyed by their hitbox for activation, and there's a cutscene that plays and it just loses your time. Alright, when we go back, we basically tell the guys that we're going to be around for a tiny weeny bit, and that we can hang about with them for a little bit. So while I'm sitting through this cutscene and waiting for stuff to move on, if you've got anything on hosting, feel free to go ahead.
I do indeed. We've just got a $20 donation from Lasertrap saying, I am very much enjoying a classic. I need to kind of interpret this. It's Y3R, so I'm guessing Yakuza 3, PS5, ESA, NRA. Does anyone know what that means? If you do, please help me out.
I know what it means.
Okay, great.
It's the abbreviation of the entire category, including what we're doing, which is like Yakuza 3 at ESA and then any % easy and whatever.
Brilliant. There we go. You see, that's it. I had a late night shift last night. I'm tired. Leave me alone. It's really incredible how no one dies. Such a safe game that not even the blackjack could stop you. And that's going towards the Have a Nice Death upgrade category to Scythe only, which has had a bit of progression. I believe some donations from Stream 1 have been inadvertently going to the target, but now it's only $40 away, so it's at $110 out of $150. So let's get some more donations in so we can finish that off and see some Scythe-only gameplay in Have a Nice Death.
Right, so during those cutscenes, Haruka tells us that we need to go get Taichi to go to the supermarket. We go down to the beach and he's like play fighting, wrestling with Mitsuo. And then of course within the 20 seconds that we leave them alone to do that, he like collapses. So we get the doctors in. The doctors think he might have asthma or some other kind of breathing like illness or issue. And so yeah, he gets upset because he really wants to be a wrestler. So instead, we're going to wrestle with Rakia. Yeah, so basically, this section here can actually also lose you a lot of time. So in a speedrun of this game, you get past Blackjack with a super spicy run, and then, you know, the true final boss appears past Blackjack. And that's good old Ricky Mask coming up. Right. So Ricky Mask here is not a normal kind of fight. He's like kind of like a mini game fight kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it. But basically, you need to do specific actions to him and let him do a specific action to... I'm trying to fight you, man. Square up. Hang on. There we go. All right, cool. So we have to do specific actions. There's only one of them, which is very annoying. So the first one we need to do is a throw, which is easy. We just grab him. Throw. We need to do a second throw, so we need him to do an action, otherwise he won't let you throw us. So jab him, and then he'll do that and try and kick you. It's just fine, doesn't matter what he does, you just need to do something. And then you can throw him again. Second action is a drop kick. You're around in a circle, drop him when he gets up. Drop him when he gets up again. Now this next action is the annoying one, so you need to get knocked down. There we go, that was actually easy as hell. Drop kick him again. And that was actually insane, that was perfect. So that fight can take forever because he can just like take forever to knock you down. He has only like 2 combos that actually knock you down, and he has a throw that knocks you down. But because it's a throw, it doesn't count in this game as him knocking you down in the way it wants you to get knocked down. So yeah, it's a pretty annoying thing if he just decides to do the throw over and over again, which he can decide to do. Right, once we're done with that, Haruka here is kind of nearly runs to Kiryu while running out of the orphanage to go do something. Kiryu's like, maybe I should go see what she's up to, just to, like, you know, make sure I'm being correct as, like, her guardian. So we're going to go and take a look at what Haruka's up to. So we're going to quickly take a taxi over to the west side of the area from down here, because it's a little bit faster than walking up there. You would think it would be more, but it's only like a few seconds, and when you have like enough money like we do, then it's more than worth it to just taxi up and around there. Try not to get hit by the truck though. And Haruka's seen here looking at some kind of job application thing here. And when she sees us, she just kind of runs away from us, and we got to go find her again. And she's at the back of the little city area right here. Oh yeah, there's a guy trying to jump off a bridge there. Oh, that is a fight spawn. Let me void that guy. Oh my word. When you play this game enough, you kind of get a bit of a sixth sense as to who are fight spawns. But sometimes it doesn't really help. There are some of the later Yakuza games have way worse like fight spawn stuff. Yakuza 5 is genuinely, like, in a speedrun setting, one of the scariest games to try and, like, get encounterless runs in, because it's very easy to just get completely chained by encounters all over the place. But luckily in this game, when one encounter hits you, everything else, like, resets, so you're all good if one of them hits you, if there's multiple around. Right, so Haruka was talking to a couple of rather suspicious-looking men, and now she's stood on, like, a corner, like, giving stuff to other people. So Kiryu is, of course, very concerned. So we're basically going to investigate this a little bit more throughout the next couple of minutes to see what's actually happening. Because every time we try and talk to Haruka about it, she gets she kind of runs away and avoids the conversation. So I won't, and then we go back to the orphanage and find out that, like, no, they've been eating very fancy food. So then we need to find out, you know, oh god, where's she getting that money from? So yeah, that's what we're doing. Oh god, that guy was there. Again, this is kind of like another kind of scary chapter, like much like chapter 4. Chapter 10, because you're walking around the city an awful lot, doing different things or going to specific areas. Fight spawns are very, very commonly going to appear wherever you need to go, and you do have to sometimes just, like, deal with them. My PB, or one of my PBs here, has, like, a fight spawn location where there's, like, 3 facing each other, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell do I do here? Like, I have, like, no options. And you can get really, really brutal combinations like that. Oh, my controls got messed up there. If you hold forward a little bit too early, the game kind of reverses your inputs for like a frame or two, which is why you sometimes run backwards there. Right, so Haruka went out in the evening again, so, you know, we ain't happy about that. We're going to go find her. That corner back here that we were at before is where we're going to go. Because she's back here talking to the suspicious people again. There's no one here I need to worry about, is there? No, there's no fight spawns. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, so she's on this corner, and pretty much what we need to do is we need to wait through all of the different, like, people that are going to walk up to her. And if you accidentally go early in a second, where you get the options of step in now or let's wait and see, you have to restart the entire sequence of it again. So you need to be very careful that you're not, like, getting too excited or, like, dropping your inputs or whatever during this. Alright, so this kind of is, like, showing how, like, suspicious these two guys are, because they're telling her to, like, not speak to the police, etc., etc., etc. So Kiryu, again, not very happy about this. You tell they're shady because they're called the Shady and Suspicious Men. Right, so this first guy in red, that's not the guy we need to speak to, so absolutely we're going to wait and see on that one. This bro in the suit with the mad strut is also a wait and see. This dude is also a wait and see. If I remember correctly, it is the policeman next. It is the policeman, and then once the policeman's been, then it is the original 2 shady and suspicious men. And there they are. And now we're going to step in, and we find out what they've actually been asking Haruka to do for them is to hand out basically fake, like, credit cards and things. So now, in order to teach them a lesson, we're going to punch them. Because, yes, that's what we do. If you get lucky there, you can hit you can end them both in the same combo. Kind of got a little bit pushed too far away from each other there for me to do that. So we find out here, the reason why Haruka was actually even considering doing this is because Rukia and the other dude here were having a conversation about, like, oh, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for that? And it turns out they were talking about how they're broke and they can't pay for their the rent at the Yakuza family office that they do all their stuff from. So yeah, we're all happy. We're all happy after that now because Haruka no longer needs to do any suspicious or shady work like that. And yeah, they spend ages having a conversation with them, so the sun goes completely down. I'm going to go back to the orphanage. So while I'm going back over to the orphanage, if you've got anything you want to say on hosting side, feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely. Let's have a friendly reminder about what it is we're here to do. Of course, we're raising money for Make-A-Wish, an organisation which helps children with critical illnesses, creating life-changing wishes for them to make their journey slightly easier for them. They were founded in 1980. They are the world's leading children's wish-granting organisation. They have granted more than 550,000 wishes in 50 countries worldwide and currently have over 30,000 volunteers that are helping to ease the journey for a lot of children that are going through difficult times to make their one wish come true. So get your donations in to a really good cause, and we can also get some good speedruns to help raise some money for an amazing charity. So come and see our rewards, come see our targets, and let's raise some high amounts of money for them.
All right. So now we're back at the orphanage. We have another Ayako kind of section here where, like, she's like trying to be, because she's like the oldest one out of all the children. She's like trying to be kind of like the big sister and help everyone out. And they're not as appreciative as like she would like them to be. So she gets a little bit upset in this section, which I can completely understand. So this section is kind of like a little bit about how like they just mistreat her and that she gets very upset and runs away. But it does lead to honestly my favorite cutscene in this entire game. So in that cutscene before, Shiro asks her to help him with some homework. Izumi asks about borrowing a little bit of money to buy a toy for Mame the dog, which we picked up in chapter 4. And yeah, she didn't buy the thing for Mame. She went and brought some sweets with her friends. Shiro didn't read his homework correctly and blames Ayako for getting it wrong, even though he's the one that didn't actually tell her what she needed to help him with. So Kiryu here legitimately just sits everyone down around the table and basically says, well, you suck, and you suck as well, to all of them over like the most minute of things. Like Koji basically like hasn't done like anything and gets like gets a scolding from Kiryu. Like Riona here is like, who do you think gave you those clothes? And I'm like, hang on a second, Kiryu, you calm down. Not everyone is like worthy of that kind of thing. But yeah, so now we gotta go find Ayako. She's actually up by the locker key area. Make sure I don't get bodied by the controls. That can sometimes happen there. Right, so we're gonna go take a taxi up to the east area. There can actually be a couple of things that can go wrong getting up there. Like there can be fight spawns, etc., etc. But also the sub-story is back as well. In this situation, the sub-story actually is okay to run into if a fight spawn's gonna nab you. But that guy in the guy's a fight spawn. That should be okay. Yep, I knew it. That guy saw me. That's fine. I'm miles ahead of him now. I forgot up here. She's at the back here. So, of course, she's being very upset at the back, and we're going to try and cheer her up. It doesn't really work. So, this is this game's kind of last chase section. Is this right here? So, we're going to basically chase her around all of Okinawa here. Not all of Okinawa, but all of this little street area of Okinawa that we're in. Yeah, this little girl in the green cardigan pretty much just outruns the seasoned Yakuza man that is Kazuma Kiryu with her ice skate ass looking like run. So we're just going to quickly go around here. There's 3 sections to this. This first one ends in that little alcove thing. She can actually get caught on NPCs or like do that to you, which is lovely. All that does is lose time. So we then go around the next part all the way back to the bridge area over the little river to the right side of where we are now. And then we have one more after that where we go around the entire thing. Now, this area here is a little bit annoying because there's loads of NPCs that spawn. And in chase sections, you can't actually pan the camera down in order to despawn NPCs, which is why they're kind of annoying, especially the police one earlier. If you could pan the camera down to despawn NPCs, it'd be amazing. Because you could just basically, as long as you knew where the police were, you could run straight. But this one here, you can't. And Aiko can actually get caught on the guys. And if she gets caught and just gets caught in the middle, because you can just fail this and you're like, oh god, I failed the one. Kiryu here is like actually like dying. While she's like perfectly fine. Well, one more of these we've got to do. We're going to go around. So we're going to go around kind of the entire route this time. Before we get to the end. And then afterwards we kind of get to move back on with, we're doing with regular Yakuza stuff. So yeah, this also is like, it's kind of funny because some details change around this area per lap that you do. So the bar and like the stamina bar and such on these is normally what dictates whether the chase ends. But this is like a unique instance one where like you can't actually do like the regular chase ending things like tackle and such, because it would be pretty brutal if Kiryu just tackled this little girl to like end the chase section. We're basically just waiting for her to get tired. But yeah, these taxis and all this traffic and all this stuff like changes between laps of the thing, which is just so funny. You're like gone for like 10 seconds and the whole world like explodes around you. Right, so we chased her down, she got tired, and now we've gone, it's fine, it's fine. Everyone does appreciate you. And now, yeah, we're all happy again. We're going to go back to the orphanage. And then we need to go and deal with protecting that guy, the Kamiyama. Kamiyama, I can't say his name. I got him confused with the laptop guy. Tamiya, that's it, not Kamiyama. Jeez. I will always stand by, whenever you do a marathon run like this of a Yakuza game, doing the run is the easy bit. Now, remembering every character's name, now that's the real trick with these, is remembering what everyone's called. Alright, so got a little bit of dialogue and stuff I need to go through. So if you've got a donation or something you need to read, then feel free to go ahead.
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, we got $10 from Miri saying, "Hi Rebel, good luck with the rest of the run, hoping for good RNG." And that's going toward the M&M Shell Shocked All Cutscenes target. Thank you very much for the donation there, Miri.
I will say M&M Shell Shocked is an absolute treat of a video game. That's no pun intended. It's a beautiful mess. It's so funny.
And we're only $50 away from finishing the target, so let's get some donations in and get all the cutscenes in that game.
Cool. So, oh, there's a fight spawn behind me there. Oh my god, I did not see that guy. Alright, luckily he didn't catch me. Right, so this is Joji Kazuma. This is the guy that we think shot everyone. Like, oh, that's the wrong gun. Fine. 1, 2, 3. That was absolutely stupid of me. I forgot what gun I was meant to use. But yeah, if you cap this guy with 18 shots, he just kind of gets bodied. If you let this guy do anything else other than just get shot there, he has like loads of different attacks that he can body you with. He has like a heat phase with like 2 QTEs. One of them is like a minute and a bit long. So that like shooting that guy skips like so much of the fight. And this guy now tells us that no, I did not shoot people. It was the other guy. It was who we now know as Richardson, the mysterious foreigner that we fought earlier. During the time of us having this conversation, Tamashiro, who we also fought earlier, rocked up and destroyed the orphanage because yeah, he doesn't like us. So, and he also kidnapped Nakahara. So we got to go help our friend out because he's still recovering from his gunshot wound. So we're going to go over there, then we've got to go to the bull ring. So there's both spawns. Lovely, cool. That guy over there, the clown, that's Bob. We love Bob. I should have mentioned him earlier. Bob is like the DLC or like reward item giver. So if you like do the task of like completing every single sub-story in this game, etc., he gives you like the rewards and things. We don't talk to him because he always gives you stuff. Because that's kind of how he works. So he just clogs up your inventory if you're not careful. So now we know where we got to go. We got to go to the bull ring. We are going to go there. Right, so the only way to get there is to taxi there. So we have to go talk to this man back here on the taxi. There we go. And we basically just go straight into a boss fight. So the boss fight here is we have a bunch of little goons that we have to take out. And then we have Tamashiro himself, so we're going to quickly shoot all of our bullets left in that gun. So we're going to go shoot more guys. Just make sure I don't waste shots. Thought we didn't waste any shots. Wasting shots is not too much of a problem at this point. We have a little bit of a recovery period when we put our third set of guns on, of where we can kind of normalize ourselves, but doing that is obviously slower. Oh yeah, this is where we just casually wrestle with a bull real quick. If this was one of the later games, it probably forced us to fight the ball, but luckily we don't have to fight him with Yakuza 3 combat. But yeah, this is Tamashiro. Tamashiro has a gun now, but it's cool. We also have guns. We have way more gun. He only has one. We have like another like 10 left. So we pretty much just body him. Again, this fight has a ton of stuff that we've just skipped by doing that. He has like phases where he like calls in like loads of different like guys to try and hit you and kill you and all this other stuff, and yeah, just shooting him just kind of stuns him out of all of it. And again, it also skips to feel the heats and all this other stuff, which is why guns are also very good as well. It means you don't have to do any setups for skipping feel the heats. Right, so we're in chapter 12 now. Chapter 12 is actually the final chapter. We're actually coming up to my favorite boy. This guy here who's going to talk to us, this is Rick Langley. He literally shows up, goes, "Hello, my name is Rick Langley," and walks away. And is never mentioned again in any capacity. He is just rocks up, goes, "My name's Rick," and then that's it. And honestly, mad respect to that man. Right, so now we're back in Serena. We're just kind of saying hi to people. And then now we've got to tell Haruka to sit here and wait. Because, again, you can go around this area as with both Kiryu and Haruka and doing some activities and such. Haruka has, like, her own, like, happiness meter and thing in this game that you can raise and such. Like, whenever she, like, says voice lines and things in the background, that's her, like, some of them are her, like, asking, "Yo, can we do this, please?" And things like that, and you can use that to increase that. Something else funny, you can also get bodied by fight spawns here on the very last chapter. On the very last time you need to walk down any street, you get destroyed by fight spawns. Because pretty much now we're just going to go straight to the final set piece, essentially, before the final boss. So Kazuma tells us that the CIA have his back because Richardson's gang have also, like, you know, betrayed them, blah blah blah. But we just want to go here. So the reason why we're going to this hospital is because this is where Daigo is. And Daigo's kind of like the last piece of, like, the puzzle for Mine completing his plan or whatever. Right, so this fight here is actually pretty important because it sets up a thing we do in this run called gun math, essentially. So let me just count my shots real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. So as I said, if you've overused shots, you can normalize your shots there, and then you can kind of continue on. Oh, can I not dash, please? I want to get that gun there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. There we go. Right. So the reason why we do what we call gun math, which was what Tapioca worked out for this part. Shout out to him again. Because he basically just did most of the stuff for this game, is we want to end the run with exactly 0 bullets in our guns, so we know we've optimally used all of them in the correct places. When I first learned this game, we didn't have much like that, and we just kind of YOLO'd and... Oh, that's very bad. Okay, I'm going to have to do something different now. I can't believe that whiffed. I'm going to have to go behind the guy and then, yeah, no, I know what I'm gonna have to do. This is gonna be a little bit slow, but I'm gonna have to deal with it like that. Okay, that's fine. What we'll do is and I'll fix myself in a minute. This is absolute garbage and you shouldn't do it, but we'll fix it in a minute. That's fine. I know what I can do to fix it. That's something you need to know how to fix it if something like that happens and you have... Oh, the guy threw a stun grenade. I mean, yeah, but normally what you would do is you would have an amount of shots that you need to use and then go through it. I've already messed up because I whiffed 2 shots. So I'm already, like, screwed on my bullets if I do everything the way I should be doing it. So I'm just going to kind of sandbag on a couple of things and I should be okay. Let me just go around here. That guy. But that guy is kind of a bit aggressive, which is why we deal with him. These beds take 3 hits to get past, so we're just going to pass them. And again, we can just run past them, which is very funny. Also, like, these guys just aren't really that aggressive on this version, so we're gonna do this. Top punch should be the one, and yeah. No, I've got it. I've fixed myself now. I know what I'm doing. That one. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just have to punch. There's a couple of police officers you need to fight after the next main enemy you have to do. So what I'll do is I will just make sure that I deal with them with my fist rather than using a gun on them, and just have to normalize my shots like that way. Which is a little bit unfortunate. It's a little bit slow, but you kind of have to do that sometimes if you get bodied by that. All right, just gotta wait for the lift to go up. Right, so the reason why we're in the lift is because we're going to the top floor, which is where, well, near the top floor, which is where Daigo's room is. Got another nice intro that we can skip to literally run to the other side of the room. That's all we're doing in this bit. Run past the vase. And there we go. That's the end of the set piece for the hospital. Now we have to deal with Richardson again. Hopefully this doesn't go too bad.
Let's go.
Because this guy just gets bodied by a gun. There we go. There is actually a weird thing you can get this guy to go out of bounds if you do like the correct thing. I always forget how to do it, but it's not really worth it. All right. Even though he just took like 10 bullets to the chest, he's still perfectly fine, because as I said earlier, Kiryu does not kill people, so he's more than fine. There he goes. He's moving again. Right, so we're going to go through here. There's a few policemen. They're going to show up, and they're going to, like, try and deal with you, but that's fine. We have a gun. I will have to punch these guys a little bit because I don't have enough bullets, but that should be fine. Just going to heat move him, and that's the guy dealt with. Right, what do I need? Where are they? Take that. Throw that over there. Where's the other... Oh, that's kind of bad. I've lost one of my guns. Oh, well. I'll have to play it differently as well, because I lost my guns. That's actually kind of bad.
Let's do it.
Okay, that's fine. Go there. Oh. Oh. Mate, I didn't change my guns. There we go, need to put this away. Now he's got a shotgun out, but usually you have two shotty pistols there. But pretty much what happened was, because I took out one of the guys with a heat move, I think it just despawned it. It happens. It's just unfortunate that the end of this kind of fell apart a little bit, but that's fine. This should just end this guy now, which is more than fine. There you go. Right, that was a pretty poor fight, but whatever, we're going to move on. Right, so now we've got one more little section here where we've got to go up the lift, and more police guys are going to come and have a swing at us, but that's fine. We want to use 8 shots from one of our guns and then leave one completely untouched. Because for the final boss, we need 7 shots and 15 shots. We need 7 shots in one and 15 shots in another gun. So we need about 22 shots, so... Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... And we're just going to end this guy with some punching and grab the shotgun here for this guy. Shoot that guy. Shoot that guy. And that should be it. There we go. As I said, there's backups for if you mess any of this up.
Can I jump in with a donation?
Yeah, sure,
real
go
quick?
ahead. This is just a cutscene and then we'll nearly be done.
Brilliant. We've got a $100 donation from Mir saying, okay, I'm sold. We have to see this cutscene showcase. Let's go! And that completes the M&M Shell Shocked all cutscenes target. So we'll be seeing all the cutscenes in M&M Shell Shocked. And also, we hit $45,000 for Make-A-Wish. So absolutely amazing. Next up, 46,000. Let's go.
All right, I couldn't skip that cutscene for the final boss. You have to watch it. It's a very important element. But Yeah, so Mine here is actually quite a complex boss if you actually fight him, but we're just going to cheese the hell out of him because why would we fight him? And now we're just going to shoot him. Oh, can I like... Thank you. My timing is off. And that's time. There we go. Right, yeah, so that was Yakuza. Absolutely fell apart at the end, but that was more than fine. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you enjoy any of the Yakuza games, I would actually recommend doing speedruns of them. They are actually really fun games to do speedruns of. As usual, shout-outs to the Yakuza speedrunning community. If you want to run these games, go on the speedrun.com pages, come in the Discord, say hi. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and enjoy whatever's next on ESA.